In this section, we are talking about complementary events and odds. We are going to continue that conversation and also use this Venn diagram to look at some basic probability too. The following Venn diagram shows the sports students play. So we have tennis, track, wrestling, and this 47 out here is students who don't do any of those three. It doesn't mean they don't do sports, it just means they're not doing tennis, track, or wrestling. This first question says, what is the probability of selecting a student who plays tennis? So first we need to figure out how many play tennis. All the students who play tennis are contained within this circle. So I'm going to add them up. And if I do that, I will get 31. But probability is the part out of a whole. So we have 31 students out of, and then we need to figure out how many to find the denominator. To find the total number of students in this survey, we can add these all up. When we add them up, we find that the total is 153 students. So this will be, the probability of someone playing tennis will be 31 over 153. And you're more than welcome to put that in a calculator if you want the decimal. The next one says, what is the probability of selecting a student who does not run track? Now for this one, we're going to use our complement rule. So we need to first find the probability of running track. And that is going to be all of these students right here. So the probability of running track, when I add those all up, I get 53 out of the 153 students run track. But this problem is asking for those who do not run track. So that sounds like a complement rule to me. So the probability of not running track is going to be 1 minus those who do run track, which is 53 over 153. Then we want to convert our 1 to a number that has 153 in the denominator. This will equal 100 over 153. That is the probability. And if you want it in a decimal, again, you could put it in the calculator. Now let's look at this next one. What is the probability of selecting a student who runs track and wrestles but does not play tennis? The next question says, what is the probability of selecting a student who runs track and wrestles? That is going to be the intersection. Here's track and wrestling. So if I add those up, I get 16. But there's an additional caveat on this question. It says they do not play tennis. So that means I do not include this one person who also plays tennis. The answer for this one would be 15 over 153. That is the probability of selecting a student who runs track and wrestles, but does not play tennis. And then finally, this last question says, what is the probability of selecting a student who does tennis or track, but not wrestling? Tennis, all of tennis, or track, or their intersections. So it's every student within this green bubble. But there's another caveat. The question is asking for those that are not also in wrestling. So I'm going to just cross off these 3, and then I'll just add 12 plus 5 plus 32 out of our total 153. That will be 49, 153. And there you go, using Venn diagrams to find probability.